Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something incredibly personal. We're looking at a battle that honestly millions of us fight every single day. It's an invisible battle. Nobody hears it, nobody sees it happening, but it literally shapes every single decision we make, from the second we wake up to the moment we close our eyes. I'm talking about the battle of self-doubt.
And it almost always begins with a whisper. Just a simple, quiet question that kind of echoes in the back of your mind. What if you fail? I just want you to pause for a second and let that sink in. How many times has that exact phrase just stopped you dead in your tracks? It's a heavy question, isn't it? It's one that has quietly stolen so many beautiful dreams before they ever even had a chance to bloom.
But then, those whispers, they start to grow louder. Suddenly, it's, well, what if people laugh at you? And man, that is a paralyzing hesitation. It's that fear of judgment, that fear of stepping outside of our comfortable little boxes, and the absolute dread that your genuine, heartfelt effort is just going to be met with ridicule.
And then, finally, we get hit with the most devastating whisper of them all. What if you're just not good enough? And see, these questions, they work together to convince us of this very specific, really damaging lie. They trick us into thinking that confidence is this rare gift that's magically handed out to a fortunate few, leaving the rest of us stuck in the shadows. But, as we'll see in our source material, that is a complete myth. Literally no truth to it.
Part 1. The Invisible Battle, Redefining Confidence. Okay, let's dive into this. Because if confidence isn't some magical gift, then what exactly is it?
The truth here is beautifully simple, though, not always easy. Confidence is a discipline. It's a habit. But above all else, it's a choice that you have to make every single day. Think about the most successful, impactful people in history. They were never fearless. Actually, let me repeat that because it's absolutely crucial. They were never fearless. They just learned through constant practice that fear doesn't get to sit in the driver's seat. They made a daily choice not to let fear call the shots.
Part 2. The Eagle's Leap, Escaping the Nest. To really wrap our heads around this, our source text shares this gorgeous metaphor. So picture this. High up on a mountain, there's an eagle's nest. And inside is this young eagle who just constantly watches the sky. Every day, it sees these majestic eagles soaring effortlessly through the clouds, and it admires them so much, but whenever it gets close to the edge of the cliff, this terrifying fear just grips its heart. What if I fall? So days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and the eagle just stays trapped in the safety of that nest.
Then, one day, an older, wiser eagle lands nearby. It looks right into the frightened eyes of this young bird, smiles, and says, "You were never born to live inside this nest." The young eagle is trembling and asks, "But what if I can't fly?" And this brilliantly illustrates the old eagle's life-changing wisdom. It simply replies, "Every eagle discovers its wings only after leaving the cliff."
And wow, those words just echoed deep within the young bird. So, with trembling legs, a racing heart, and completely uncertain eyes, it stepped forward. And for one terrifying moment, it fell. The wind rushed past, fear was absolutely screaming in its mind, but then its wings opened. The exact same wind that felt like it was going to destroy it suddenly became this powerful force lifting it higher than it had ever imagined. Confidence wasn't waiting back in the nest, right? It was waiting in the leap.
We can so easily connect this eagle's leap to our own human experience. Society constantly tells us to wait. Wait until you're perfect. Wait until you feel 100% ready. But life teaches us something totally different. You become ready by beginning. Think about a toddler learning to walk. They don't sit there waiting until they've mastered the complex physics of walking. No, they stumble, they fall down, they get back up, because every stumble teaches balance. Every single attempt builds confidence. If babies were afraid of falling, nobody would ever learn to walk.
Part 3. The Mirror, Reflecting Your Thoughts. Now, I want you to imagine you're standing in front of a mirror. But this isn't the mirror in your bathroom. This is a mirror that reflects your internal thoughts. It echoes back those silent words you say to yourself every single day.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast in our internal dialogue. How often is your mirror reflecting phrases like, "I'm not smart enough," or "I always fail"? Every one of those negative sentences is literally a brick in a prison that you're building around yourself. But look at these empowering reframes. Imagine swapping those words out for, "I am learning," or "I am stronger today." Yeah, at first it's going to feel weird and unfamiliar, but changing our internal words completely dismantles that prison of self-doubt. A powerful life always begins with a powerful belief.
Part 4. The Mountain,
building the muscle. So as we start reframing those thoughts, we can finally look outward at our goals. And every dream you have, it's a mountain. Now, a lot of people spend their entire lives just staring at the mountain. They admire the people climbing, they wonder what the view's like from the top, but they never take that first crucial step. True success takes the immense courage to just start the climb.
Now, as you climb, you're going to slip. That's a given. Storms are going to roll in, and you're definitely going to feel like giving up. But getting to the top really has very little to do with luck. The summit is reached through sheer endurance. It's courage, it's consistency, and it's this quiet confidence that you build one small, incredibly determined step at a time. Every single obstacle on that mountain is actively forging your character.
So the crucial point here is that confidence works exactly like a physical muscle. Imagine wanting to get strong, but refusing to ever go to the gym. The strength isn't just going to magically appear overnight, right? It's the exact same with your mind. Every conversation you bravely start, every presentation you give, every challenge you step up to, and every fear you look in the eye, you are actively flexing and strengthening that confidence muscle. Avoiding fear weakens it. Facing fear strengthens it. Taking action is literally the only way confidence is earned.
Part 5. Lessons from history. They were never fearless. Now, if you ever feel like you're completely alone on this climb, just look back at history. It is so important to remember that every great leader, every visionary artist, every groundbreaking scientist, they once stood exactly where you are standing right now. They dealt with the exact same whispers of doubt.
Let's move to this and see how it builds. Just consider the historical giants who paved the way. Mahatma Gandhi? He was incredibly shy in his early years, yet he became this legendary leader. APJ Abdul Kalam started from incredibly humble beginnings to turn massive dreams into national achievements. Oprah Winfrey faced crushing rejections before becoming the absolute global icon she is today. And Thomas Edison? He failed thousands of times before giving us a practical light bulb. See, history doesn't celebrate these people because they never failed or because they never felt fear. No way. History remembers them because they absolutely refuse to quit. Part 6. Your new beginning. Taking the step. And that brings us right back to you. Maybe today you're doubting yourself. Maybe you've put your dreams on hold because that fearful voice in your mind just feels so much louder than the hope in your heart. But I really want to encourage you here. That voice inside your head, the one telling you to stay safely in the nest, it isn't always telling you the truth.
Notice the real distinction here. Fear is just trying to predict failure so it can keep you safe. But confidence? Confidence is what actually creates possibility. You don't need to entirely silence your fear. Honestly, that's impossible anyway. You just need to stop letting it make the decisions for your life. One conversation, one opportunity, one brave step forward, even when you're scared, that is exactly how every extraordinary life begins.
Part 7. The promise, answering fear. So as this explainer journey winds down, I want to ask you to make one unbreakable promise to yourself. A promise that's going to serve as your anchor the very next time that invisible battle starts raging in your mind.
Promise yourself this. Whenever fear whispers in your ear and says you cannot, you are going to stand firm. Take a deep breath and answer, I will try. You will take that first step.
Whenever self-doubt creeps in and tries to tell you, you are not enough, you will stand tall, look it right in the eye and answer, I am becoming better every single day. You will boldly walk right into your own endless potential.
And whenever you stumble, whenever failure tries to drag you down and says, give up, you will answer, this is only another lesson. Because greatness, it is never, ever born in the comfort of the nest. It's forged through resilience, through grit, and through an absolute, unwavering faith in your own journey.
Just look at the natural world around us. The strongest, most unyielding oak tree in the entire forest. It was once just a tiny, fragile little seed. The mightiest, roaring river started as a small, quiet stream, and the tallest mountain you can possibly imagine was shaped over thousands of years, one single grain at a time. Monumental growth always begins with something small. It begins with one single, brave decision. I want to leave you with this final, incredibly powerful thought straight from our source material. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that your dreams are greater than your fears. Your story is still being written right now. So make it a story of breathtaking courage. Make it a story of continuous growth. Make it a story that inspires literally everyone around you. The world isn't waiting for a perfect person, you know? The world is just waiting for you to be brave enough to simply begin. So, what is your next step going to be?